The strange neighbor in the apartment next door. When I moved into that building downtown, everything seemed normal. It was a small, cheap place, perfect for starting a new life. Most of the neighbors were friendly, except for the one living in the apartment next door. He never left, but sometimes I could hear him. Low sounds, almost whispers, in the dead of night. At first I thought he was just reserved or eccentric, but things started to get strange. One night, around 2 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. They were slow, dragging, as if someone was carrying something heavy. The sound stopped at my neighbor's door, and soon after, I heard a click, like someone unlocking it. I was curious, but I chose not to get involved. That night, however, I heard something different coming from the wall that separated our apartments. It was a muffled sound, like crying, but distorted, as if it were coming from an old tape recording. The next day, I asked the building superintendent about my neighbor. He gave me a strange look. "There's no one living there," he said. "The apartment's been empty since the last tenant disappeared 2 years ago." Those words sent chills down my spine. I went home convinced the superintendent was wrong. Maybe the neighbor was discreet, and the superintendent didn't even know he was there. I decided to pay closer attention. That night, I lay down with the lights off, waiting to hear something. Around 3 in the morning, the sound started again. First, footsteps in the hallway. Then, the sound of the door unlocking. My heart raced as I slowly got up and walked to the door to look through the peephole. There was no one there. I went back to bed, trying to convince myself I was imagining things. But then I heard something from the wall. It sounded like scratching, like long nails scraping against wood. I took a deep breath and knocked on the wall. The sound stopped. "Is someone there?" I whispered. For a few seconds, there was complete silence. Then, a voice answered, low and hoarse. "Can you hear me?" My eyes widened. It was impossible. The apartment was empty. I ran to the living room and stared at the wall. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I am here," the voice replied, closer now, as if right on the other side of the wall. I decided to do something I shouldn't have. I took the spare key the superintendent had given me and went to the apartment next door. My hands trembled as I unlocked the door. When I stepped inside, the air was heavy, filled with a musty smell and something else, metallic. The place was completely empty. No furniture, no curtains, nothing. Just the sound of rain hitting the window. I was about to leave when I noticed marks on the floor, deep scratches leading to a door at the back of the apartment. I walked toward it, feeling my heart pound in my chest. I turned the doorknob, and the door creaked open. Inside, there was a staircase leading down into darkness. Against all better judgment, I went down the steps. The smell grew stronger, and I began to hear something. It was the same distorted crying, but this time clearer, more real. When I reached the bottom, the dim flicker of a single light bulb revealed something I will never forget. The floor was covered in photos, all of me. Photos taken from different angles. Me entering my apartment, sleeping in my bed, even looking out my window. In the center of the room, there was a chair, and sitting in it was the neighbor. He was thin, pale, with hollow eyes, and a smile that didn't look human. He didn't say anything, just stared at me, his grin stretching wider as I struggled to find my voice. "Who are you?" I managed to stammer. He tilted his head, as if analyzing my question. Then calmly he replied, "I live with you." Without thinking, I ran back up the stairs, sprinting down the hallway as fast as I could. When I reached my apartment and locked the door, I called the police. They arrived within minutes, but when they searched the apartment next door, they found nothing. No photos, no man. Just an empty, dusty room. Now every time it rains at night, I hear footsteps, scratching, and that same distorted crying coming from the wall. Sometimes I feel like something is in my room, watching me. When I turn off the light, I see a shadow that shouldn't be there, always in the corner with a smile that never disappears. And you, what would you do in a situation like this? Leave a comment below and subscribe for more stories told in the rain.